Welcome on in, Heat fans. That was a gutsy win in overtime on the road. Second night of a back-to-back. The Miami Heat, they take out the Brooklyn Nets in OT 96-95 thanks to great nights from Tyler Herro and Jimmy Butler. Two individuals who kind of had the reason that they were in OT to begin with. They come through in the clutch. Tyler Herro hits a couple of clutch threes. Jimmy Butler had the free throws to ice it. And Miami moves on and gets themselves, for the first time this season, 8 games over 500, running their record to 24-16 against a team that, quite frankly, they have struggled with. They have had their hands full with the Nets. It's a long-ass team. You know it's going to be an ugly game. And they forced the turnovers on Miami. It was, it was an atrocious first half of basketball to watch. It really, really was. The Miami Heat did not hit a three-pointer in the first half. They could not get any offense. 31 points, lowest of the season, 11 of 42 for the entire game. You had Jimmy Butler making his comeback today, which was marvelous. We'll get to Jimmy because he really swung this game with his performance in the third quarter. But Miami they couldn't pee a drop when it came to offense. And it's not like Brooklyn was doing much better. They were shooting 36%, 4-25 from downtown, so they were hoisting up a ton of threes. It could have been ugly. It could have been real. It could have been a lot uglier if Brooklyn was making any of their shots, but they also were no great shakes when it came to the offense. But then the third quarter came around, and this game was really turned around by two things. And it was Jimmy Butler's tenacity getting to the rim, and it was Tyler Herro hitting these beautiful one-legged runners all over the place. I mean, he was out there on one leg the entire, like a flamingo, dude. Just beautiful, pristine, like breathtaking. Like you ever go to the zoo, dude, and you just wonder, like, how does an animal that graceful, that makes its feathers so pink on a seafood diet, just looks so graceful on that one leg? That was Tyler Herro going in there into the lane, just whoosh, beautiful, runner, floater, baby float. It was a graceful thing to see. I mean, really, and in all honesty, the baby float has grown up, and it is now a float mingo. It is breathtaking. It is a sight to behold. And Tyler Herro, it was a marvelous thing to see. But really, this was something very interesting. So Jimmy Butler was called for a flop technical foul. And the game was pretty even at that point. It was 52-52. Brooklyn goes up with the tech foul, and Jimmy Butler, like, immediately, boom. It was like a switch had been flipped on him. He was really pissed about this, very clearly. Because Jimmy Butler's not an embellisher. He's not a whiner. That's not him. He's very much just like, lets the game go. Now, he'll talk some shit. Don't get me wrong. Jimmy Butler's going to be a guy who will go out there from time to time and he'll rub it in an opponent's face, but he does not complain to the officials. So this was a very odd thing. He was very offended by this call. I still don't really even know what happened. It was like they showed it once on Bally. I was very confused. Immediately after this, Jimmy Butler was bodying fools and just getting to the line willy-nilly. And in the third quarter, Miami completely flipped this game on its head. Jimmy Butler had 14 points, 8 of 8 from the free throw line to take this game under control. In the meanwhile, Tyler Herro was getting cooking as well. So Miami had finally gotten some three-point shots, both of them from Tyler Herro, and they really flipped this game on its head because the Brooklyn Nets had gone and swelled their lead to 16 points. You're like, all right, second night of a back-to-back. Are the boys feeling it right now? And Tyler would reveal, actually, after the game, like, very long flight. Felt like we were zombies out there in the first half. And so they needed, I think, that spark from Jimmy. Right back. He missed 11 of the last 12 games. This is Jimmy's season. Second half of the season is coming up officially this week. And you get to the midway point when they get to Toronto, and then you flip it at the end. This is exactly when Jimmy Butler usually comes back from injuries. This is exactly when Jimmy Butler usually gets into his mode getting ready for the postseason. And he was a huge reason why Miami was able to get this game back underway today. And just that classic, just Jimmy Butler, strong to the rim, no matter what defender you threw him. There was at one point where he drove through all 4 Brooklyn Nets. Then the next time he goes down, he gets the pump fake on Watford. So he really took the game and started playing it at his pace and was playing the Nets like a fiddle. It was a beautiful thing to see. So we get to the fourth quarter. Bam, he had a big putback which extended Miami's lead. J. Rich had a big bucket too. But, Bam offensively today, they were throwing a lot of double teams at him. And Royce O'Neal it's a matchup that I think annoys Bam a lot. Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton is a matchup that really, really annoys Bam because Nick Claxton, you watch him he's, kind of chicken winging Bam. He's always kind of giving him extra pushes. He's always your kitchen. Nick Claxton's a very good player. He's a very good defender. Kind of has a lot of Bam-esque qualities, has not made that leap, obviously, offensively, but has a lot of that. He'll stay with you. He'll go guard on the wing. He can be in there. And he's going to be a nuisance. He's going to be a pain in the ass. And the Nets, who very much made it an emphasis in this game, we are going to try and bother Bam Adebayo. We're going to throw a lot of bodies at Bam Adebayo. He is just coming off Eastern Conference Player of the Week. We're going to throw a lot of double teams at him. We're going to dare Jimmy Butler coming off of a long layoff, and we're going to dare Tyler Herro to be the ones that beat us. Now, Bam just never could get in that offensive flow tonight. It just was never there for him. But to be fair to him, didn't let that deter him in other spots. He finished with 11 points and was a rough 5 of 17 from the field, but had 17. Had 20 mother bleeping rebounds today. But this was a game offensively, which did not have a lot of offense to come by, that was carried by number 22 and number 14. And so about, this game, Jimmy, he is coming out of the timeout. He gets a foul on Cam Johnson. He's fired up. He's doing almost like the Hulkamania stuff. But he goes to free throw line, misses his first free throw of the game. And then he goes and he gets a Cam Johnson brings it to within 80-79. And Jimmy goes down, gets a double pump turnaround off the glass with Dennis Smith Jr. On him, but Nick Claxton came over as well to come help, and he gets it over both of them. And he hits him with the "it's too small." And it was a beautiful thing to see. 3 minutes left. This game gets very, very exciting. Royce O'Neal hits a big three to get his team back to within a point. And then bam, they throw the double team at him. They lock him up. He throws it away into a turnover. Cam Smith going down the other end. He gives Brooklyn their first lead in a while. Puts them up 84-83. But Tyler Herro, this is where him and Cam would get into a little bit of a back and forth. He just kept going to that one-legged run. They just could not have an answer for it. So he puts the Heat up 85-84. Cam Thomas comes down the other way, gets fouled by Caleb Martin. He puts Brooklyn back up. And then you have Tyler Herro. He goes out there again with the, beautiful one-legged flamingo runner and puts Miami up 87-86. So it's a fun battle back and forth. Cam Thomas is feeling it, goes down, hoists a three. Bam is fouled on the rebound by Nick Claxton. He goes down to shoot the free throws, misses. He misses one of them, hits 1 of 2, puts the Heat up 2. There's 5.9 left. Brooklyn calls timeout. Mikal Bridges gets loose from Jimmy because Jimmy goes for the steal, takes a bad gamble, and Tyler Herro tries to make up for it. Awful foul on Bridges, and he ties it up. He ends up getting to tie it up 88-88 when he goes to the free throw line. Spo challenged it. It was for naught. It was an obvious foul. It was a bad play, and the Heat still had 4 seconds left. That typical Jimmy Butler goes to the wing, fadeaway jumper. No good. We're going to overtime. And overtime gets started off on a dicey path because you get Brooklyn, bang, bang, goes up 5 after a Royce O'Neal 3. And then Caleb Martin gets blocked by Mikal Bridges. Shot clock violation on the Heat. Then you're sitting there and you're watching just the most painful possession because Tyler Herro comes down, misses a 3-point shot, loose ball, Heat get it. Martin then shoots the 3, nowhere near it. Heat, loose ball once again, back to Tyler Herro. He misses it. So the Heat had 3 looks at a 3-pointer. You're just like, oof. Then the next time that they get the possession, he gets the ball back. The lead is still the same. It's a 5-point game. Tyler goes down to J. Rich. Nice find by Tyler, blocked by Nick Claxton. And the Heat, you're just thinking to yourself, all right. Very much at this point, I think as a Heat fan, you're thinking to yourself, there's still time, but it felt very much like with that Jimmy Butler missed shot, that was the last chance the Heat were going to have to win this game. It felt very much like maybe the mental fortitude was given in a little bit because second night of a back-to-back, overtime on the road. And to the Heat's credit, they did not pack it up because even after all these missteps on offense, who was there to step up to bring the Miami Heat back? It was Tyler mother bleeping Herro. Boy wonder with a clutch three, makes it 93-91. Then you get the stop on Bridges, but Claxton gets fouled on the rebound, so it stays with the Nets. So it's timeout Nets. They can't get the inbound. Bridges goes in there. He hits a very clutch basket, puts them up 4. Tyler Herro then comes back. He answers. Big Onions 3 once again to bring it to within 1 point, 95-94 Brooklyn. So this is coming to it right here. So Miami's going to need a stop here. They get a stop, they'll have a chance to go and win this game. Mikal Bridges, he goes for it, misses at the rim, kind of a scramble. Claxton, basket interference. He doesn't let the ball come off the rim, so they call it Heat ball with about 25 seconds left. Whew. Telling you, man, you're thinking to yourself, I cannot believe after the way this overtime started, Miami has finally the chance to come take the lead. Tyler Herro brings the ball up, has Claxton on him, switched onto him. He gives it to Jimmy Butler, who has Dennis Smith Jr. on him. Jimmy Butler takes to the rim. Dennis Smith Jr. fouls him with about 11 seconds left. Jimmy Butler does what Jimmy Butler does. He hits the clutch free throws, and Miami gets the 96-95 winner in overtime and runs their record to a place that they have not been. So, man, it was a closely contested, ugly in the mud game. Another game where they keep an opponent under 100 points. They were there themselves, and this is by the way, an in overtime game. Mind you, they both went into overtime. Neither team broke 90. So that'll just tell you how inept things were in that first half of this game. But I think that the Heat like that. You know, since that Oklahoma City game where, you know, it was running on up and down, got away from them a little bit. The Miami Heat have, you know, gotten into this little win streak that they have, these last 3 wins that they've gotten. And they've been okay with, you know what? We don't have to be in the 120s. We know how to go make things ugly, how to go win ugly. And now they have their ultimate win ugly player back in Jimmy Butler, who can always just take a game like that, suck the air out of a game like that, and dictate it on his own terms. Take, you know, free throws as it will whenever he decides to just put his head down and take the game over. And it was great today. But, you know, Butler and Herro, they were just absolute monsters. You know, you needed in a game like this somebody to step up, especially after that tough second half or that tough first half. You needed to come out of halftime, and Tyler and Jimmy really provided that and always just seemed like they had a clutch play outside of the play where they both fouled Bridges. You know, Jimmy let Bridges going for the steal, and Tyler fouled him. Really, their only error that you could go to tonight and be like, that really almost screwed us. But they make up for it, and they get the Miami Heat another victory. Now they go to this Raptors game. They'll get a day off. They go to Canada. You get Jimmy Butler back now in the fold. And, you know, it has been almost a unicorn. I don't want to talk about the Heat getting everybody whole because it's been a hamster wheel of just making you crazy with the injuries. But it was great to have Jimmy Butler back, and he looked super engaged. The last time that he came back out on the road, just not quite all the way there. This was Jimmy Butler. This looked like, hey, this is your superstar. He looks ready. Can you have him back for the second half of the season? And he was there, and both he and Tyler both came up with big shots, especially with the focal point being on, hey, we're going to take out Bam in this game. From the Nets standpoint, we're going to take out your Eastern Conference Player of the Week. You go do something about it. And they did something about it. And that's the thing that was encouraging about today's game. Huge performance by both of these guys. Huge performance huge defensive win, ugly win, but right now it's about stringing them all together. The wins may be ugly, but the record's looking mighty pretty.